your dream team. It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are dealing with the medical emergency in Australia, our recent experience. This is the BAM Famalam. Y'all know I rock with them heavy, absolutely dope people, make absolutely dope videos. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
So these last few weeks have been really tough.
It was a Monday afternoon. I was working in the shed and I started getting a pain in my stomach. Well, I'd been wearing this blue dress all day. It was a very beautiful blue dress. But I thought, okay, maybe I'm getting a little bit chunky here. I thought it's possibly just, I've been wearing it all day. Possibly it's just been pulling on my stomach.
Okay.
And maybe that's, maybe I just shouldn't wear this dress, or I need to lose a little bit of weight. I carried on working for another few hours. I thought, oh, this is very unpleasant.
Yeah, you gotta stop. You know what I'm saying? Or I would have, if you thought it was a dress, at least try to go change your dress or something. But dang, that is scary. Like, to feel that something is wrong, but like not know. So she really thought it was a dress, but it sounds like it was something more serious. But I'll let her tell it. Stop interrupting, Darian. Sheesh.
I went and changed into my pajamas because they're super comfortable. Sporting them now, me and Betty. Anyway, it didn't help. I just thought, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm just going to go and sleep this off, and I'm sure by the morning I'll feel absolutely fine. But it got to about 10 o'clock at night and I still wasn't asleep. The pain was getting worse at this stage. I was thinking, this isn't normal. This isn't a cramp. You know when you get a stomach ache and you get a cramp and it comes and goes in waves? Yeah. It wasn't anything like that. It was a constant pain. It had been going on for 7 hours at this stage.
Maz just asked me to take her to the hospital. She knew something was really wrong.
Every little bump in the road, I really felt it. It just was horrible. Ben was being as careful as he could not to go too fast over bumps. So he was lovely. He's always lovely. We got to the hospital. They don't allow visitors in at this particular hospital that I went to. So I had to go in on my own. And at this stage, I was getting more poorly. Ben came home. I went for a CT scan. There's a little bit of a funny story to this. It must have been about 2 o'clock in the morning, and the nurse gave me my third lot of anti-sickness medication, and it was supposed to be some kind of pain relief, but she said it will make you very drowsy. I took it, and I was beginning to feel the drowsiness. I was drifting off to sleep. And all of these crazy Alice in Wonderland images were coming into my head, but I could see them, but not the pleasant ones. They were really spinny, and I did not like it at all. It was real freaky stuff. I had to open my eyes. I couldn't let myself fall asleep because it was just so awful. And then
that do sound a little scary. Like you trying to drift off into the sleep and then seeing all these bad Alice in Wonderland images, and where you gotta open your eyes. Like, nah, I can't. I keep my eyes closed. I can't keep seeing these images. Let me open back up. But sheesh.
Then the nurse kept looking at my monitors from the office, and I was beginning to get a bit paranoid.
So I got woken up at around about 2 a.m. with Maz texting me some really weird stuff. She was saying stuff like, I don't feel safe, the nurse is drugging me to make her life a little bit easier and keep me quiet. She was completely paranoid that this nurse was up to no good.
Oh, that paranoia started to kick in. Dang. She like, hey, this nurse out to get me. I don't know what I did. I don't know what's going on, but right now I'm telling you, she out to get me.
And Ben just said, yes, you have been drugged by the nurses. It's absolutely fine. That's what they do. So the doctor came in, I think it was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and said to me, we finally got your CT results through. Your small intestine has twisted. You need to get surgery pretty quickly. So he said, we're going to have to prep you for surgery. We're going to stick a tube up your nose into your stomach, and then we're going to get an ambulance to transport you to the hospital, another hospital, for surgery.
Once I found out that Mum was in hospital, I realised that she must have been very sick. I was a bit worried at first. I realised, okay, I've got to get this together. And then I just took over the house and made sure everything was done, and there was nothing for Mum and Dad to worry about.
When there's a problem...
That's the first time I've seen one of their kids talk on the videos. And I'm sure they have multiple with them. But shout out to her, man. Know what I'm saying? Understand, hey, like, Mom's sick, Mom's going through it. Like, what I can do in this moment is to, like, take care of the house, make sure everything's good, so that this is just something less that Mom and Dad have to worry about. They can worry about getting Mom better. I absolutely love that. I wonder how your intestine, like, even twists. Like, is it something that just, like, happens that's just, like, random act of bad luck? Or is it something that, like, you can do that makes it twist? I'm intrigued.
Lily really flies into, I guess, like a nurturing and mothering role. Don't get me wrong, she doesn't have to. We don't expect that of our children, but it's just how she naturally is.
That's so awesome.
Couldn't really have a better daughter than Lily, because she is just awesome.
And having Lily by my side made everything so much easier. I knew that I could go to the hospital and everything at home was going to be running really well. It's such a relief in these times to have a daughter like that.
I've got to say,
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love
having that tube inserted was probably one of the most horrible experiences.
I can imagine.
And I'm absolutely traumatised by it. Not only did it look flipping awful, but it was really horrible, and I couldn't stop gagging. The nurses, including the one who I thought was trying to drug me earlier on in the morning, were very sweet to me and very kind. Oh my God, that's going to make me teary. But it was just the worst experience. Anyone who's had it will know it was disgusting. Now, I know some of you who are on Instagram, you saw this, and I got a lot of questions asking if I'd had a nose job. I did not have a nose job in hospital. I have actually had that done previously, but that's a whole nother story. On this occasion, no nose job.
Matt's got taken by ambulance early in the morning to Skoo Hospital. It's an absolutely fantastic hospital here on the Sunshine Coast.
I went into this first ward, and it's like a holding ward, I guess, for arrivals. So the wardies collected me, took me to the ward that I needed to go for my surgery. The doctor from the surgical team came in. He said he'd looked at the CT scan and that it wasn't just one twist, it was two.
Jesus.
It's very unusual, apparently. So usually it's something that happens if you've had a previous abdominal surgery or a C-section. I've never had anything. It's really still a mystery as to how it happened. I had no choice. I had to have surgery, and luckily they were saying they were going to do keyhole surgery. But if there was any bruising internally or any damage, then obviously they would need to do a full surgery. In my preparation for surgery, the nurse presented me with my attire for the surgery, which consisted of a beautiful lilac gown, some white stockings with orange socks, like grippy socks, you know, like you'd go to a trampoline place with.
Yeah.
The final piece to this outfit was net knickers.
Net knickers. Which,
to be honest, I wasn't expecting lingerie, but they were absolutely disgusting.
I can't imagine that. Some net knickers. Okay, so got her all prepped. That's scary to know. Like, already, like, your small intestine twisted once, which is very unusual. Usually happens if they had abdominal surgery or C-section. But hers twisted twice, and she's had none of those things. And so it's like, still don't know how it happened, but that's just scary. But I can't imagine somebody sticking the tube all the way up your nose until, no, I can't. Shoot.
Not long after that, they took me for surgery. I can't speak highly enough about how it was. Everybody was so kind, so professional. Can't even praise them enough because I felt so comfortable despite feeling like rubbish. I was so well looked after and I didn't stress at all. It was
That's
just,
so awesome.
This is what's going to happen. I'll be very lucky if I only have keyhole surgery, and that's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I went in, had the surgery, and then woke up in recovery, and I was like, okay, so what's happened? Is it bad? I'm so grateful. They told me everything went very well. It was just twisted. There were no further complications. We've
thank God.
untwisted you, and it's only been keyhole surgery. They called Ben, let him know that I was okay. And the great
Thank
thing
God.
about it is that the second hospital I went to allowed visitors. I was accommodated with a bedroom to myself, and it had an ensuite. It was a lovely bedroom with television, even though I didn't watch it. But the main thing for me is a private bathroom. I hate sharing bathrooms, it just grosses me out. Post-op wise, I was on hourly observations, and that consisted of temperature, blood pressure, and all the normal observations that you get in hospital. And I had my cannula with my IV fluids, which was wonderful. My paracetamol through there, brilliant. Anyway, kept me feeling good. And then I began to be able to walk up and down the corridors within a few days. That was my outing from my bedroom. But to be honest, I just needed to sleep. I was just catching up on a lot of sleep and not wanting to move too much, because obviously stomach surgery it's not nice, is it? There's one more part to this story, which is I'm very calm. I don't overreact, and I was on a fluid diet from after the surgery, which was on Tuesday, till I think Thursday night, and I was only allowed drinks and jelly.
Damn, that'd probably be the worst of it for me, to be honest, bro. Cause I've never even tried a fluid diet. Like, I never tried to juice. I never tried any of that stuff. Like, I've tried juice, but juicing, where you only drink juices throughout the day, but no solid foods. I've never tried any of that. This is, if I don't eat food within 6 hours, I feel like, other than sleeping, I feel like I'm struggling. But, dang, that's tough.
I never want to see jelly again. But on the Thursday night, I was told I could have soup with my diet now. I was allowed, that little bit of extra texture. So I had a beautiful soup, but then in the morning, they didn't give me soup for breakfast. They presented me with more jelly. I just didn't want it. When it came to lunchtime, they brought me more liquid, and I said, oh no, I'm allowed soup now. And they said, oh no, we only do soup in the evening, not at lunchtime. And at this point, I was so desperate for food that I just cried.
I'm with you. I would have cried too. I would have been like, do y'all allow outside food? Can my husband go get me some soup and bring it here? Cause I can't, this liquids, it ain't doing it. Jelly, I can't do it anymore. If I could have any type of food, I need soup. You know what I'm saying? I understand. I would have cried too.
I still had my nose tube, so I looked like this absolute monster, and I just cried. Nothing had broken me. Throughout the pain, throughout the nose tube, throughout the surgery, everything. I was so calm. The thing that broke me was not being given food, like a proper meal by Friday. Just couldn't stop crying. And the nurse came in And she was so sweet. At that point, they whipped out the nose tube and gave me a meal, and it was the best salad I've ever had. It was so delightful. I was so grateful. That was my only wobble. A girl's got to eat. I can honestly say the food that I was given once I was allowed to eat was really delicious. And then I was allowed home on the Saturday evening.
She just wanted to get back to everything like normal, but she couldn't, so we forced her into having a good rest.
It's been just over 2 weeks since my surgery. I am obviously still taking it easy, but I feel like I'm on the ball mentally again.
Throughout all of this, we can honestly say that the standard of healthcare where we live in Queensland is exceptional.
The surgery that I had.
That's awesome. Shout out Australia, man. Shout out Queensland. Incredible. It sounds like she was definitely taken care of in a very swift manner. Know what I'm saying? Nurses, sounds like the service there was the nurses were very nice to her. Everybody was very nice and as accommodating as they could be. And it sounds like, know what I'm saying? She didn't have much problems with them. She didn't have much problems at all. And so that's incredible.
And the care that I had was actually on the public system. So a lot of people have private health insurance. We don't. However, we have in the past paid for private medical care. This occasion we didn't, because it was an emergency situation and it was dealt with very quickly. But in the past, Ben had a tonsillectomy, which we paid for privately because we wanted it to be something that happened straight away. But on this occasion, we used public health care, and honestly, I don't think you could beat the service that we received. I'm so grateful for that. To live in Australia, you know, a country that's not where I've come from, and to be treated in such an exceptional way, I feel very lucky. One thing about Queensland I know that is different to some of the other states is that we have free ambulances. I know that in some areas you actually have to pay for ambulances. I thought we were very lucky with the NHS in England, but wow. I've seen situations in the UK where, when necessary, when there's a real emergency, doctors and nurses, they come flying out of nowhere and you receive the most incredible care when you need it. I've seen that firsthand, and so I in no way ever want to discredit the NHS, because I think that the NHS staff are just the most incredible people. For anyone who doesn't know the NHS, that's the British healthcare system. Yeah. What I think here is that they seem to have more resources, and they're not so short on staff, and the staff aren't treated so terribly as they are in the UK. And for that reason, it feels like there's more of them, and it feels like they're not under the pump to that level. The team aren't better, they're just better resourced. The care, I couldn't fault it. Even when I told you the story of me thinking that the nurse was drugging me, that was just the drugs.
The drugs started kicking in, started that paranoia. But shout out y'all Australia. That's absolutely incredible that she was able to get the care that she needed. Everybody was kind and polite. They found out what the problem was quickly, solved it quickly, and their biggest struggle was just that she couldn't have solid foods. And that was the biggest struggle for her. But everything else went good, and they took care of her.
She truly was wonderful. Just want to clarify this. Actually, I don't know what it was, but I must find out what it was, because I never ever want to have that again.
That's all we got, bro. Love the Bam Family Lamb. Videos are always dope. Shout out to Australian healthcare. That's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Neal. Out.